The hum of the ship was the only sound in the dark. Everything was still, the kind of silence that only deep space could make. Then, without warning, he felt something heavy pressing on his chest. His eyes shot open. The dim blue light from the emergency strip barely lit the room, but he could see a shape leaning over him. His breath caught in his throat. It was her, Sarah, his alien crewmate. Her pale skin glowed faintly in the dark, and her silver eyes reflected the faint light like mirrors. She was trembling. Her first slender fingers pressed against his uniform, holding him down, not with strength but with fear. "Listen," she whispered, her voice shaking. "Please don't move. Don't call anyone. I need your help." He wanted to speak, to ask what she was doing on top of him, but something in her eyes stopped him. There was terror there, not danger, but desperation. The kind that made his heart beat faster, not from fear of her, but from the feeling that something was very, very wrong. Outside, the ship's systems hummed normally. No alarms, no warnings. Everything seemed fine, but Sarah's breathing was sharp and uneven. "Sarah," he said softly, trying to stay calm. "You're scaring me. What's going on?" She shook her head, her long hair brushing his face. "You must promise me," she said. "Promise you won't tell the captain. Promise you'll help me." He hesitated. The crew wasn't supposed to keep secrets, not on a long-range ship like Vigilant, drifting 6 months from home. Trust was everything. But looking into her eyes, he couldn't say no. "I promise," he said quietly. She slowly lifted her hand from his chest and sat back. He could see her whole form now, tall, graceful, but shaking. Something about her movements was off, as if she was in pain. "I didn't want to wake you like this," she said. "But it's getting worse, and it's moving." He sat up, confused. "What's moving?" Instead of answering, she reached for the collar of her uniform and pulled it down just enough to reveal her shoulder. His stomach twisted. There, beneath her translucent skin, something glowed faintly, pulsing, alive. A soft, rhythmic light, like a heartbeat that wasn't hers. He leaned closer, unable to look away. The light moved. No, it crawled, sliding an inch across her skin and stopping near her neck. She flinched. "It started after the last spacewalk," she said. "At first I thought it was a reaction to the suit gel. Then I felt it move." His hands trembled as he reached for the light. "Sarah, this could be an infection, or no," she cut him off sharply. "It's not from me. It's inside me, and it's awake." He stared at her, his mind racing. They'd been outside the ship 2 days ago, repairing the outer relay. Nothing unusual had shown up on the sensors. But now, seeing that glow, he wasn't sure. She grabbed his wrist suddenly. "You don't understand. I can hear it sometimes. When I close my eyes, it talks." He pulled his hand back, trying to think. "Sarah, that's impossible. Maybe I'm not imagining it," she said. Her voice broke, trembling. "It knows things. It said my name before I told it." For a moment, neither of them spoke. The silence of the ship felt heavier now, pressing down on both of them. He tried to remember the last medical scan she'd had. Everything had been normal then. "Why didn't you go to the captain?" he asked. She looked away. "Because I don't trust him, and because it told me not to." He felt a cold chill run through him. "It told you not to?" She nodded slowly. "It said if I told anyone else, it would stop pretending to be quiet." The air suddenly felt thick, as if the whole cabin was holding its breath, pretending. He whispered. Her eyes glistened. "Yes, it said it's waiting, that it's hiding, because it's not ready yet." He wanted to tell her this was impossible, that no alien organism could just speak inside someone's mind. But the fear in her eyes was too real to dismiss. "Sarah," he said softly, "whatever this is, we'll figure it out together." She looked at him, almost as if she didn't believe him. Then she reached out, took his hand, and pressed it against her shoulder. The glow pulsed once, warm beneath his fingers. He felt something then, not a heartbeat, but a rhythm, like tiny electric shocks under her skin, beating in time with his pulse. For a split second, it almost felt like the thing knew he was there. He pulled his hand back, heart pounding. "We need to scan it now." She shook her head. "Not in the med bay. It'll show up on the ship logs." He frowned. "Then where?" Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Follow me. There's a service tunnel near the aft thrusters." The scanners there are off-grid. He hesitated. Every rule in the book said this was wrong. But something told him she wasn't lying. Whatever was inside her was real and it was getting stronger. "All right," he said finally. "Lead the way." She nodded, relief flickering in her eyes. She moved toward the door, her movements slower now, as if every step hurt. He followed her out of the cabin, glancing once over his shoulder. The room was dark again, silent except for the faint hum of the ship's life systems as the door closed behind them. A faint glow lingered on the sheets where she had been sitting, pulsing, slow and steady, like the breath of something that was waiting. And in that moment, he realized the silence of the ship wasn't just silence anymore. It was listening. The narrow tunnel behind the engine room smelled of hot metal and recycled air. Pipes lined the walls, carrying coolant and oxygen through the ship's veins. Dim red lights pulsed along the ceiling, barely enough to see, but perfect for staying unnoticed. He followed Sarah as she crawled ahead, her movements slow and unsteady. Every few seconds, she stopped to catch her breath. The faint glow under her skin had spread, thin veins of light running down her neck like threads of fire. "Are you sure this scanner works?" he whispered. "Yes," she said. Her voice was soft, strained. "It's old, but it doesn't report to the main system. No one will know." When they reached the small service bay, he helped her sit against the wall. The low hum of the thrusters vibrated beneath them. A portable scanner sat on the floor, dusty and half covered in tape. It was used for checking wiring, not medical scans, but it would have to do. He connected the device, the screen flickering to life. "This isn't meant for biology," he warned. "I'll have to adjust the settings manually." She nodded. "Just hurry, it's starting to hurt." He scanned her shoulder again. The glow brightened, pulsing faster, like a heartbeat trying to escape. Then the scanner made a sound he'd never heard before, a deep, distorted thump, almost like a knock from inside the machine. He frowned. "That's not supposed to happen." Sarah's eyes widened. "It's moving again." The screen displayed a wave pattern, irregular, alive. He adjusted the focus, zooming deeper. There it was, something coiled inside her muscle, slender and moving in small, rhythmic bursts. It shimmered faintly, like liquid glass. "It's not just light," he said in disbelief. "It's a structured," she whispered. "It's got form, segments, like a living thing." Her breathing quickened. "Can you take it out?" He hesitated. "Not here. I don't even know what it is." Before he could speak again, the scanner made another sound, a sharp, fast pulse. Then, through the static, a faint rhythmic echo came through the speaker. Thump, thump. He froze. The rhythm wasn't random. It was steady, intentional. Sarah's eyes darted toward the screen. "What is that?" He stared, listening. Thump, pause, thump, pause. It sounded almost like a heartbeat, except it wasn't hers. "It's alive," he said slowly. She pressed a hand to her chest. "It talks to me when I sleep," she whispered. "It shows me lights. I thought it was a dream, but maybe it's real." He didn't answer. The screen began to flicker again, showing heat signatures spreading through her veins. The glow moved from her shoulder toward her heart. "Sarah, it's spreading. I can feel it." She gasped, "Like it's trying to find something." He grabbed the scanner's data chip. "We need to take this to the captain. This is beyond us." "No," she cried, grabbing his wrist with surprising strength. "You promised. You said you'd help me." He looked at her. Sweat glistened on her forehead. The glow under her skin flickered in rhythm with her pulse. She was terrified, but determined. "Then tell me what you know," he said. Her lips trembled. "I lied before. This didn't start after the last spacewalk. I felt something days before that, a pull, like gravity was wrong. And then a whisper." He frowned. "A whisper?" "Yes," she said. "It said it was lost, that it needed a host to survive until it could be found." He stepped back, heart pounding. "You let it in?" "I didn't understand what it was," she said, tears in her eyes. It sounded lonely for a moment. The only sound was the hum of the ship. He wanted to yell, to tell her how dangerous that was, but when he looked at her, all he saw was fear and pain. Then, suddenly, the scanner beeped. The waveform on the screen began to double. "Wait," he muttered. "That can't be right." 2 signals, 2 heartbeats, one hers and one stronger. Faster, it's replicating, he whispered. Sarah's body jerked. She cried out, clutching her chest. The glow flared so bright it lit the entire bay in pale blue. The walls vibrated, as if the ship itself was reacting. He grabbed her shoulders. Stay with me. Her voice cracked. It's trying to talk again. What is it saying? He demanded. She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Her eyes rolled back, and for a second, he saw something flicker behind them, light, like a reflection of the stars. Then she spoke, but her voice was not her own. We are not alone, it said through her. The nest is near. He stumbled backward, his heart hammering. What are you? He shouted, but the light dimmed. Sarah collapsed, her breathing shallow. The scanner went dark. He knelt beside her, shaking, unsure if she was alive. Her pulse was faint but steady. The glow under her skin faded to a soft shimmer. He sat there for a long time, the silence pressing on him. The ship hummed around them, steady and uncaring. Then, faintly, from the scanner's speaker, came a single sound, 3 slow knocks. Thump, 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 and then silence. He didn't sleep that night. He just sat beside her, watching the faint light beneath her skin, wondering what he had just seen and what it meant when something lost in space finally found you. The next morning on the Vigilant felt strange to quiet, to still. The usual hum of the engines and chatter on the comms were missing. It was as if the ship itself had sensed something had changed. He walked through the narrow corridor, glancing at every vent and corner like the silence might suddenly break. Sarah was still in the maintenance bay, resting on the floor with a blanket over her shoulders. Her skin had dimmed back to its usual pale shade, but faint traces of light still pulsed under her collarbone, like an echo that refused to fade. She was awake, eyes open but distant. He crouched beside her. How do you feel? She turned slowly to him. Like something's listening through me. Her words made his stomach twist. He glanced at the scanner still lying in the corner, its display cracked. Its last signal burned into the screen to pulsing waveforms, side by side. He took a slow breath. Sarah, we can't hide this anymore. Whatever's inside you, it's not just a parasite. It's intelligent. She gave a faint, broken laugh. Intelligent, or pretending to be. He frowned. What do you mean? She looked up at him, eyes glassy. When I was asleep, I heard it again. But it wasn't speaking this time. It was showing me things, memories that weren't mine. I saw a place made of light and mist. I saw others like it, thousands. He froze. Others, you mean more of them? Yes, she whispered. They were all trapped in darkness. It said it was running away from something. It used the word nest, but it didn't mean home. It meant prison. He rubbed a hand over his face. Sarah, if it's communicating, maybe we can negotiate. Maybe it doesn't mean harm. She shook her head. No, it's using me. It's learning through me. He wanted to argue, but deep down, he felt she was right. Ever since last night, something about the air on the ship had changed. The hum of the engines seemed to carry a new rhythm, faint but real, as if something had slipped into the systems and started breathing with the ship. He checked the logs on his wrist pad. No errors, no signs of interference. But a new line had appeared in the system feed, one he hadn't seen before. Biosignal SYNC, active. It shouldn't exist. He glanced at Sarah. I think it's in the ship. Her eyes widened. It's spreading. He nodded. The scanner was connected to the maintenance grid. If it linked with the data feed, it might have jumped to the system. She stood, weak but determined. Then we need to find it before the captain does. If he finds out, he'll vent you. He finished. They both knew it was true. The captain didn't tolerate risks, especially not alien ones. They slipped through the service tunnels toward the navigation hub. As they moved, the lights flickered once, twice. A small, sharp sound echoed down the corridor, like distant tapping. Did you hear that? He whispered. Sarah nodded slowly. It's trying to talk again. They reached the control panel outside the nav room. He plugged in his wrist pad, accessing the maintenance network. A soft pulse ran through the circuits, a signature that matched the waveform from the scanner. There, he said, pointing. It's hiding in the coolant control system. Why there? He typed quickly. Because it's stable, cold, and shielded from scans. Smart move. It knows how to stay hidden. Suddenly, the lights went out. The emergency lamps blinked to life in deep red. The hum of the thrusters grew louder, uneven. "It's interfering with the engines," he said. "It's trying to get our attention." Sarah clutched his arm. "Then talk to it." He stared at her. "How like it talked to me," she said. "Through sound, through rhythm." He hesitated, then opened a communication port and sent 3 quick pulses into the system. Tap, tap, tapa pause. Then a response. Tap, 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 tap. For knocks. Different rhythm, almost like a correction. Sarah's eyes widened. "It's learning." The system flickered. On the display, words began to form, fragmented, broken. "We see, you listen." He swallowed hard. "Who are you?" He typed. Another pause. Then, one of many, broken, alone. Sarah whispered, "It's scared." He didn't know if that was true or if it was just saying what they wanted to hear. He asked again, "What do you want?" The words appeared slowly this time. "Home. Oh, our body. Both same." Then the screen went black. They sat there in silence, the sound of the ship's heartbeat surrounding them. After a few seconds, the emergency lights faded back to normal. The hum of the engines evened out. The ship returned to its routine, but the message remained burned into his mind. He turned to Sarah. "It's not just a passenger. It's looking for something or somewhere." She nodded weakly. "It said home, but if it thinks I'm its home." Her words trailed off. Her eyes rolled slightly, and she stumbled. He caught her before she fell. The glow had returned, spreading down her arms now, veins of light weaving beneath her skin. As Sarah, he shouted. She gasped, gripping his uniform. "It's awake again. It's trying to show me something." "What do you see?" Her voice dropped to a whisper. "A place full of stars, but they're all dead. It's calling me there." Then her body went limp. He lifted her and laid her down gently. The glow faded once more, but the ship lights flickered in rhythm with her heartbeat, as if responding to it. He looked around the silent corridor and realized something chilling. The ship wasn't quiet anymore. It was listening again. And this time, it wasn't just through her. It was through everything. The next day, the ship felt heavier. Not in gravity, but in mood. The air carried a strange tension, like everyone had started breathing slower without knowing why. The Vigilant moved quietly through the emptiness of space, engines humming low. Yet every sound seemed louder than it should have been. He hadn't slept, not even for a minute. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the words glowing on the console. "We see, you listen." Sarah was still weak, resting in her cabin. The glow beneath her skin came and went, like a flickering signal. He checked on her every hour, watching the faint light pulse as if it were thinking. But now there was something else, a hum, faint but steady, that matched the rhythm of her heartbeat. He didn't notice the captain until his reflection appeared in the glass. "Morning," the captain said flatly. His voice carried that calm, controlled tone that always meant suspicion. "You're up early, engineer." He turned slowly. "Just doing a systems check." The captain raised an eyebrow. "At 4 in the morning?" He forced a small smile. "Couldn't sleep." The captain nodded toward the console. "I saw a data spike in the coolant systems last night. Unregistered frequencies. Any idea what caused it?" His throat went dry. "Maybe just static from the secondary coils. Maybe." The captain stepped closer, his boots echoing on the metal floor. But it looked patterned, rhythmic, almost like a signal. He didn't answer. The captain studied his face, eyes sharp and searching. "You and Sarah were both off duty when it happened. She hasn't reported for her shift today either. Is there something I should know?" He forced himself to stay calm. "She's sick. Probably a reaction from the spacewalk." The captain frowned. "If she's unfit for duty, I'll have the medic run a scan." He froze. That was the one thing they couldn't allow. The creature inside her, the passenger, would show up instantly. "She's resting," he said quickly. "She doesn't want to make it worse." The captain stared at him for a long moment. Then he gave a slow, cold smile. "You've been with this crew for 3 years. You know what happens when people start keeping secrets out here." He nodded silently. "Good," the captain said. "Then remember it." When the captain left, the room felt smaller, the lights dimmer. He let out the breath he'd been holding. He needed to warn Sarah. He hurried to her cabin. When he opened the door, The air felt charged, almost electric. She was sitting upright now, her hair damp with sweat. The glow under her skin was stronger than ever. "He knows," she said before he could speak. He blinked. "What? The captain?" I saw it in his mind. "He doesn't trust us." He stepped back. "You saw it." She nodded slowly. "When he walked by my cabin earlier, the light inside me reached out." I felt his thoughts for a second. "He wants to run a full scan tonight." He paced the room. "Then we have to stop it. If he scans you, it's over." She took his hand, her grip cold but steady. "We need to understand what it wants. If we can talk to it really talk, we might convince it to leave me." He hesitated. "It already knows how to reach the ship systems. If we give it more access, it might save us," she interrupted softly. "Or destroy us." He looked into her eyes. There was fear, yes, but also something else. A strange calm, as if she wasn't entirely herself anymore. Before he could respond, the lights flickered. The intercom crackled. "Attention crew," the captain's voice echoed. "We're entering a debris field. Secure all compartments and prepare for impact precautions." The room vibrated as the first small impacts hit the hull. A low rumble followed, metal grinding against metal. He helped Sarah to her feet. "We need to get to the command bay." She shook her head. "No, stay here." It's talking again. Her eyes rolled back, and she began to whisper, not in English, not in any language he knew. The glow beneath her skin pulsed faster, spreading down her arms like rivers of light. The ship shuddered violently, alarms blaring. He held onto her. "Sarah, stop. You're overloading the systems." But then everything went still. The alarms stopped. The shaking ceased. Through the window, he saw something impossible. The debris field parting. The rocks and metal fragments were shifting, moving aside like a curtain being drawn back. He turned to her in shock. Her voice had changed lower, calm. "It guided us," she said. "It doesn't want to hurt us. It just wants to go home." Before he could reply, the door hissed open. The captain stood there, eyes cold, blaster drawn. "What's going on here?" He stepped in front of Sarah instinctively. "Captain, it's not what you think. Move," the captain ordered. "She's infected. You should have reported this." Sarah's glow flared, reflecting in the captain's eyes. He flinched but didn't lower the weapon. "Whatever that thing is," the captain said, voice hard. "It's not staying on my ship." The lights dimmed again. The hum of the engines grew louder. A faint vibration rippled through the deck plate, steady, rhythmic, like a heartbeat deep in the ship's core. The captain looked around, uneasy. "What's happening?" Sarah stood slowly, her expression calm and distant. "It's listening." Then the lights went out completely. The only illumination came from her, the soft, glowing veins running down her arms. In that eerie blue light, the captain's face turned pale. "What did you do?" She looked at him with a sadness that didn't seem human anymore. "It's not me," she whispered. "It's us." The ship creaked, metal bending slightly under unseen pressure. The captain aimed his weapon at her chest, but before he could fire, the air filled with a low hum. Every panel on the wall flickered to life with strange symbols, moving like waves. And then a voice, not hers, not his, spoke through the intercom. "Stop, she is not alone." The blaster slipped from the captain's hand and clattered to the floor. The hum faded. The lights flickered back to normal. But now, something was different. The vigilant felt alive, breathing, aware. He looked at Sarah. What did it mean? She met his eyes. "It means we're not the only ones on board anymore." The vigilant floated in silence. No alarms, no lights. Just darkness and the low hum of something alive moving through the ship's bones. It wasn't mechanical anymore, it was rhythmic, like breathing. He stood beside Sarah in the dim glow of her skin. The captain sat slumped near the door, his weapon useless on the floor beside him. Every few seconds, he looked around as if expecting the shadows to speak. "Engines are offline." He said quietly. "We're drifting." "I know," the engineer replied. "But the controls aren't responding. It's like the ship's ignoring us." Sarah sat on the floor, knees drawn to her chest, her eyes half closed. The blue light pulsing under her skin was stronger now, running down her arms and neck in bright threads. "It's not ignoring us," she said softly. "It's thinking." The captain glared at her. "Thinking? Don't humanize that thing." Whatever it is, it's hijacked my ship. She didn't look up. It's not yours anymore. The engineer stepped between them. Enough. We need to figure out what it wants before it kills us all. Sarah opened her eyes slowly. It doesn't want to kill us. It wants to bargain. The captain barked a laugh. Bargain? What could we possibly give it? Home, she said simply. The word hung in the dark like a ghost. He frowned. Home, you mean the place it showed you in your mind? She nodded. It's still out there. A region full of dead stars and silence. It wants to go back, but it can't navigate through this part of space alone. It needs us. And what happens to you if we take it there? The captain asked. Sarah hesitated. I don't know. The ship trembled. A sound echoed through the hull, 3 sharp knocks, like metal on metal. Tap, tap, tap. Then the lights flickered back to life, one by one. The control panels glowed, showing strange symbols scrolling across the screens. The words shifted, rearranged themselves, and then stabilized into English. Help us navigate. Protect the vessel. We guide. We share. The captain cursed under his breath. It's talking again. The engineer stepped closer to the console. It's offering a deal. It helps us survive the debris field. We help it find home. Sarah's voice was distant, as if echoing something not entirely her own. It's trapped. It can't move in vacuum alone. The ship is its body now. The captain grabbed her by the arm. You tell it this: if it doesn't release control, I'll blow the core and take it with me. Sarah's eyes glowed brighter. When she spoke, her voice carried an unnatural harmony, 2 tones layered together. If you destroy the ship, Captain, you destroy yourselves. He stumbled back, letting her go. God, it's inside her completely now. The engineer stepped forward carefully. Sarah, can it hear me? She tilted her head. It hears everything. Then tell it we'll help. But it has to give us back control first. The lights flickered again. The console display shifted. We accept. Pilot to seat. Follow our path. The hum of the engines roared back to life. The vibrations ran through the floor, deep and steady. He looked at the captain. It's giving us thrusters. The captain hesitated. Or it's leading us straight to hell. Still, he took the pilot's seat. The navigation screen lit up with a faint blue line, stretching far ahead into black space, an impossible route through the debris field. Sarah, the engineer said, is this safe? She smiled faintly, her pupils glowing faint silver. Safer than staying here. The captain gritted his teeth and followed the path. The Vigilant moved forward, weaving between drifting chunks of shattered rock and frozen metal. Each time debris approached, it shifted away on its own, like something unseen was guiding it aside. After several minutes, the field began to thin. The stars returned, cold and distant. It's working, he said quietly. It's actually guiding us. Then, suddenly, the ship lurched. A loud bang echoed through the hull. The lights dimmed. The captain fought the controls. Something hit us. No, Sarah whispered. Something found us. Out the viewport, a faint light appeared, small, steady, pulsing in rhythm with the glow beneath her skin. The engineer squinted. Another signal? She nodded. Another one of them. The pulse grew brighter, closer, until it became a long, twisting shape gliding through the void, a creature made of translucent light, moving with grace. It wasn't metal or flesh, but something in between, like living plasma. The console flickered again. Companion found. Return path unlocked. Prepare. The captain slammed a fist on the control panel. Prepare for what? No answer. The ship began to turn on its own, aligning with the new signal. Sarah stood, swaying. It's calling me closer. It wants to merge. The engineer grabbed her wrist. You can't. We don't know what'll happen. She looked at him with calm, glowing eyes. It's not asking me. It's asking us. The deck shook violently. A bright wave of light washed through the windows, and for a brief second, they all felt its warmth. Memory, connection. It wasn't pain, but something deeper, like recognition. Then everything stopped. The light faded. The hum softened. On the screen, the message changed one final time. Debt paid. Path cleared. We sleep. Sarah collapsed. The glow under her skin dimmed until it was gone completely. The captain rushed to her side. Is she? She's alive, the engineer said, checking her pulse. But it's gone quiet inside her. He looked up at the stars outside, the same route now clear, wide, and shimmering faintly with a silver trail. A corridor through the void. The captain exhaled slowly. "Well, engineer," he muttered, "looks like your alien friend kept its word." He didn't answer. He was still staring at Sarah, at the faint marks the light had left on her skin. Because even though the hum had faded, he could still feel something beneath it. Something waiting. And when the ship's console flickered one last time, he wasn't surprised to see a final line of text appear. "We hear you still." The Vigilant drifted through calm space now, far from the chaos of the debris field. The stars outside looked cold but peaceful, like nothing strange had ever happened. Yet peace didn't feel right. It felt unnatural. The captain had locked himself on the bridge, running silent diagnostics for hours. He didn't speak much anymore. The engineer, tired, hollow-eyed, moved quietly through the ship, checking systems that no longer obeyed him completely. Sometimes the doors opened before he touched them. Sometimes the lights brightened when he walked by, like something unseen was following his every step. And Sarah, she slept. Or at least, she tried to. Her breathing was soft, steady, but the faint light beneath her skin had never fully disappeared. It pulsed faintly every few minutes, like a memory refusing to die. He was sitting by her bunk when the tapping began. Soft, rhythmic, metallic. Tap, tap, tap. He looked around the small cabin. The sound wasn't coming from inside. It was coming from outside. He stood and stepped closer to the window. The vast black of space stretched endlessly beyond the glass, dotted with motionless stars. Nothing moved. Yet the sound came again. Tap, tap, tap. He leaned closer and saw it. A shimmer, faint at first, like a reflection of starlight. Then, slowly, a long shape began to form just beyond the window. It moved like smoke underwater, twisting and curling until it became something alive, a ribbon of light and shadow, flowing without sound or flame. He stumbled back, breath caught in his throat. The shape pressed closer to the window. Its surface rippled, and for a moment, he thought he saw eyes, dozens of them, flickering open and shut. Then it spoke, not aloud, but inside his head. "She carried us far. Now we return the favor." He froze, his heart hammering. "What are you?" he whispered. The voice echoed softly. "Companion, fragment, we are the same as she. You freed us." Sarah stirred in her bed. The glow beneath her skin brightened. Her lips parted slightly, and her voice, weak, distant, spoke words that weren't her own. "It found us." He rushed to her side. "Sarah, stay with me. Don't let it in again." She shook her head, eyes fluttering open. "It's not here to hurt us. It came because it remembers." The creature outside the window rippled again, its shape splitting into thin tendrils that danced across the hull. Every surface it touched shimmered briefly, leaving faint glowing marks. He opened the comm. "Bridge, this is engineering. Captain, do you see that on external?" Static answered him first, then the captain's rough voice. "Yeah, I see it. It's all over the hull. What the hell is it?" Before he could reply, Sarah sat upright. "Don't shoot," she said firmly, her voice calm but commanding. "It's part of the same life form, the one that left us the path." The captain's tone turned sharp. "You expect me to believe that thing's friendly?" "It's communicating," she said. "It's how they find each other." He looked between her and the creature, unsure what to believe. "Sarah, how do you know this?" She touched her chest. "Because I can feel it again. The bond never broke." The captain cursed through the comm. "Whatever it is, it's attaching to the hull. If it breaches, it won't." She interrupted. "It's looking for me." She stood, weak but determined, and stepped toward the window. The creature's tendrils paused, hovering like they were waiting. Then one of them stretched forward, stopping just inches from the glass. The glow under Sarah's skin brightened in response, pulsing in perfect sync with the creature's light. The two rhythms merged into one. The engineer stared in awe. "It's connected to you." She nodded slowly. "It's the other half. When I was infected, I only had a fragment of it. The rest stayed out here, searching." The captain's voice broke through again. "If that's true, then it's calling more of them. I'm picking up faint energy signatures, multiple." He looked at the radar. Dozens of signals had appeared around the Vigilant, moving slowly closer, like glowing fish circling a sunken ship. Sarah pressed her hand to the glass. "They're answering the signal. They've been lost for so long." The engineer took a step forward. "Sarah, what happens when they reach us?" She turned, eyes glowing faint silver. "They'll take what's left of the bond from me. And then, they'll leave." He shook his head. "No, we don't know what that means for you." She smiled faintly. "It means peace. For them and maybe for me." Before he could stop her, the ship vibrated again. The windows flared with light as the creatures outside aligned, forming a wide ring around the vessel. They pulsed together, and a deep hum filled the air, not mechanical, but alive, resonating through metal and bone. Sarah closed her eyes. "They're saying goodbye." He reached for her hand. "You don't have to do this." She looked at him, tears in her eyes but a calm smile on her lips. "Yes, I do. They only understand one language connection. They found me, and now I have to let them go." The light outside intensified, bathing the room in a soft, white glow. For a moment, he couldn't see anything but brightness. The hum grew louder, then faded into a single, long note. When the light dimmed, the creatures were gone. The stars returned. Silence filled the cabin again. Sarah collapsed against him. Her skin was pale now, no light beneath it, no hum, nothing. Just human warmth. He held her close, shaking. "It's over," he whispered. She opened her eyes weakly. "No," she said softly. "They're still watching. They always do." He frowned. "Where?" She pointed toward the stars beyond the window. A faint shimmer lingered there, a trail of light curving gently through the void. Like a promise written in the dark, the captain's voice came through the calm, quiet for once. "Engineer, what just happened?" He looked at the fading glow. "They went home," he said. "But they didn't go far." The captain didn't reply. The line went silent. He turned back to Sarah, brushing a strand of hair from her face. Her pulse was steady. Her eyes were calm. But when he looked closer, just for a moment, he thought he saw a spark of silver still flicker behind them, small, distant, and waiting. Outside, in the endless dark, something shimmered one last time. Tap, tap, tap. Then the stars swallowed the sound. 3 days passed after the lights vanished from the stars. The Vigilant drifted quietly, its engines stable again, its systems clean of any strange signals. To anyone looking from the outside, it would seem like a normal ship continuing its long voyage through the void. But for the 3 people aboard, nothing felt normal anymore. The engineer hadn't slept much. Every corridor still carried a faint echo and invisible vibration that felt almost like a memory of that humming connection. He'd tell himself it was the pipes or the engine coils cooling down, but deep down he knew better. The ship wasn't just metal anymore. It remembered. Sarah was recovering. Her glow had vanished completely, and her body had returned to its soft, pale tone. But something in her eyes had changed. They were clearer, deeper, as if she saw things others couldn't. She moved quietly now, spoke softly, and sometimes stopped mid-sentence, as if she were listening to something far away. The captain avoided her. He kept to the bridge, silent, doing his duty by routine. The man who once barked orders now barely spoke above a whisper. He didn't trust the quiet anymore. On the 4th day, the ship's communication panel flickered to life without command. No alarm, no incoming call, just a low pulse of light on the screen. The engineer frowned and tapped the console. A line of text scrolled across in calm, white letters. "Course correction available. Safe route home." His heart skipped. "Captain, you need to see this." The captain appeared within seconds, still in his uniform, but looking worn, like the shadows had aged him overnight. He stared at the screen. "We didn't request navigation support." "I know," the engineer said, "but it's coming from inside our own system. A program that wasn't there before." The captain's eyes narrowed. "You think it's them again?" Before the engineer could answer, Sarah appeared in the doorway. Her hair floated slightly, stirred by a draft that wasn't there. "It's a gift," she said softly. "They're keeping their promise." The captain turned sharply. "How do you know that?" She looked at him, unblinking. "Because I can feel it. They left a part of themselves behind. A map." The captain slammed his fist on the console. "They infected our systems, and you call it a gift." The engineer stepped between them. "Wait, the message doesn't show any signs of intrusion." No code interference, no external signal. It's clean. Then what's it running on? The captain asked coldly. He hesitated. Sarah didn't deny it. When they left, they didn't take everything. They left something inside me, something small, harmless. A seed of their memory. It's guiding us. The captain's jaw tightened. And what happens when that seed decides to wake up again? She looked down. That's the choice I have to make. The words hung between them, heavy as gravity. Later that night, he found her in the observation deck. The wide glass showed the stars stretched into rivers of light, and in their reflection, her face looked distant, almost otherworldly. "You know he'll never trust you again," the engineer said quietly. "I know," she replied. "But this isn't about trust. It's about finishing what they started." He stepped closer. "You don't owe them anything, Sarah. They used you." She turned to him. "Maybe, but they also saved us. They could have crushed the ship, burned us in the field, but they didn't. They just wanted to go home. And now they want to help us do the same." He shook his head. "And you believe that?" She smiled faintly. "I feel it, like a heartbeat under the metal. They aren't gone, just quiet." Before he could reply, the ship's lights dimmed and the navigation system chimed softly. The message on the console updated. "Destination locked. Follow the path." A blue line appeared across the stars, shimmering faintly like a thread leading into infinity. The captain's voice came through the intercom. "We're aligning with the course. If this goes wrong, we're finished." The engines roared to life. The Vigilant turned slowly, its hull catching a faint reflection from the trail ahead. For the first time in weeks, the journey felt steady. No shaking, no interference, just quiet travel through the unknown. Hours passed in silence. Then, something unexpected happened. The stars outside began to change color. Blue faded to white, white to gold. The air grew warmer. The ship's sensors lit up, showing energy readings far beyond normal space. "What is this?" the captain asked. The engineer scanned the data. "We've entered some kind of corridor, artificial, maybe left behind by them. It's stable but unfamiliar." Sarah placed her hand on the glass. "It's their trail. They opened this path for us." As she spoke, the ship trembled slightly. The hum returned not from the engines, but from the walls themselves. The same sound they'd heard when the beings were near. Only now, it felt peaceful, almost comforting. Then, faintly, the comms crackled. A whisper drifted through the static. "Not farewell, only distance." Sarah smiled sadly. "They're saying goodbye again." The captain crossed his arms, eyes softening for the first time. "Maybe they're just making sure we don't forget." The light outside began to fade. The golden hue shifted back to the familiar deep blue of normal space. Ahead, the star map adjusted, and for the first time in months, they saw the route to Homa territory blinking on their console. The captain exhaled slowly. "We made it." The engineer turned to Sarah. "You did it." She shook her head gently. "We did it. Them, too." He smiled, though his chest felt heavy. "Do you think we'll ever see them again?" Sarah looked out at the stars. "Not the same way. But sometimes when the ship's quiet, I'll still hear them. Maybe that's enough." The ship glided forward, the hum of the engines blending with the faint pulse in the walls. Just before the stars of home filled the viewport, the console flickered one last time. A simple message appeared, glowing softly against the dark. "We are light. You are memory. Travel safe." Sarah reached out and touched the screen. "Goodbye," she whispered. The engineer stood beside her, watching the faint shimmer fade away. The Vigilant sailed on toward home, silent, steady, and no longer alone in the way it once was. Far behind them, deep in the dark, a single silver spark drifted in their wake, pulsing gently like a heartbeat waiting for the next call across the stars.